What's up guys, welcome back from the YugioPro duel video. The new fossil stuff was revealed earlier today, so let's try it out. It's already up on YgoPro. With all the goodwill in the world, I've tried out running the other fusions as well, but the thing is that in the pure build, that is, with Shadows attacking in as well, but it didn't really work out that well, since the fusions are okay, but their gimmick, I guess, is that, okay, with the fossil fusion, using monsters from both players' graveyards, give them the unaffected by additional effect, but basically their fusions are like, well, do trample damage, maybe the double attack, and of course their big boss, like the skull, Yugioh or something like that. I hope I pronounce it right. That's the big guy, right? 3500 attack, trample damage, double damage when it like does that. So it's cool, but small downside of the card are some of the fusions do need or have the restriction, I guess, that your at least your opponent has to have the correct level monster in their graveyard. And as you saw in the profile, is that I'm in the current build, I'm only running 2 of the fusions, and that's the level 4 that searches out the fossil fusion by banishing itself from the graveyard. But small disadvantage is that this fusion, your Skull Guard, that's the name, is that you can only summon that if your opponent has that level 4 or lower on at least in the graveyard. So during your own first turn, you kinda have to, if you want to go to fusion that way, you kinda have to rely on your opponent having the hand trap, like DD Crow, Ash Blossom, just to name a few. And then it's basically serves as an extender. Again, by banishing the fusion, you can search another fossil fusion, and the advantage of this is that now you have the ability to go for the level 6 fusion play, because the higher level, or at least this particular fusion, your level 6 does again not need the opponent to have like a level 5 or 6 monster in the graveyard. You can just use your own level 6 Adamancipator synchro in the graveyard. So advantage of this is that it's like an extender engine, if that makes sense, of putting up first of all a level 4 on the field. Maybe use it for next seed play or level 6 synchro play or whatever, doesn't really matter, or a link play, and then upgrade for another level 6 fusion play, meant fusion, right? And you can use that level 6 fusion for another level 8 synchro play. So in the beginning, the start of the combo, it kind of serves like a Gigantus. It's basically an extra level 4. But after that, it also gives you an extra level 6, and it can be convenient since, because of your level 2 tuners, you can definitely need, or it's definitely welcome that you have another level 6, regular level 6 monster on the field to go for another level 8 synchro play. Again, Crystal Wing with your Adamancipator synchro, and then maybe the water synchro, the Dragite, definitely, or Omega. Those are the 3 cards here in the extra deck. But as you saw, the extra deck is super packed. If I had the space, and if I was running the 3rd fossil fusion polymerization, I would maybe find space for either another level 4, well, depends, right? Just making sure that the 3rd copy of a fusion is live, or just maybe go for the level 8, or one of the level 8s, that is. I mean, the big guy, the 3500 beat stick, is sweet, is cute. It's maybe like a comeback or last resort card, but on its own, the first turn, it doesn't really do anything if you're able to get it on the field, because again, your opponent needs to have a level 7 or higher monster in the graveyard, and I'm looking at the decks like Shadows have the ability to do that, a higher level monster in the graveyard. The most, well, standard card that comes to my mind is Nibiru, if people main deck that, but there are decks that aren't really main decking those higher level monsters, so I don't think I want to I want to force myself to put in those big fusion monsters with the risk that my opponent is not running those higher level monsters, or forcing myself to do so. Since, as you saw, I definitely need my extra deck space. As you saw on the side deck as well, dropped the Boral Savage Dragon from the build I put up a couple of days ago, the Adamancipator build. Boral Savage is cool, but most of the time wasn't really needed, while a card like Phoenix might be important, but again, the space is just not there. I prefer Stellar Herald, the level 4 Synchro. Union Carrier is also a card you might want to put in the extra deck, again to fetch out your Block Dragon. I mean, Block Dragon is a broken card on its own. But I just want to say is that with all the goodwill in the world, I definitely want to fit in more fusions, want to play more fusions. But first of all, I don't have the space in the extra deck, it's not convenient, and they don't really do anything on their own, if that makes sense. Okay, the double attack is cute, but for now I feel its purpose is to facilitate the rock deck, and with the current support, that just screams Adamancipator. Again, I've tried running like a pure build, but not optimal, going first, not strong. And I mean, both the fusions that I'm running, they are quite flexible, since it's not that hard to make the level 6 fusion live during the first turn if you have the fossil fusion. Again, you're not relying on your opponent, but the cute gimmick, if your opponent has the hand trap, and that again, I'm only speaking during your opening turn, you can use that hand trap for your fusion. So basically extra extenders for your combo. So the main purpose of the profile I put up a couple of days ago of the Adamancipator, the same purpose. You can enter field with you know, multiple Appaloosa negates, the rank 4 exceed play in the form of Dweller, blocking your opponent's graveyard effects. You can end with like 1 or 2 level 8 synchro plays, that's either Crystal Wing and or Dragite that negates spells and traps from your opponent, or maybe Omega if you want, right? But most importantly, next to all this, as you saw, you have the ability with the deck to end with Masquerina, to use Masquerina's effect during your opponent's turn, unicorn something back, and you know, like Masquerina and Block Dragon to get another surge during your opponent's turn is quite disgusting. Yeah, that's the deck, right? But I mean, the Fossil Fusion is cool, but the fact or the question you might ask is that like the build that I put up a couple of days ago, does that really need the Fossil Fusion engine? And I caught like a small engine, since I'm only running the 2 new rock, or at least the rock guy, the Weathering Soldier, which is cool, because they also have like a new Foolish Burial, and that immediately lets you search like a fossil card, most of the time just your Fossil Fusion, so that's quite convenient. It could give you an extra draw as well, their Miracle Rapture, but that needs the restriction of a Fossil Fusion polymerization in your graveyard, so it's cool, it's a versatile card. And that's just one of the reasons why I'm not running the other, yeah, like fossil cards, fossil spells. One of them is Time Stream. I know the gimmick, like Time Stream, pumping out another fusion monster from your extra deck, but you know, like tribute to level 4, pump out a level 6. Again, that's cute, but I don't really like it that much, and the card on its own doesn't really do much. You first of all need to have a fusion on the field, while second, its beneficial effect is that, well, not in the same turn when it's sent to the graveyard, like the Time Stream has the ability to banish itself from the graveyard to reborn another fusion from the graveyard, but at a small cost that you need to banish another fusion in the graveyard as well. And that feels quite strange, because as I mentioned before, your fusions on their own have those beneficial effects that you want to banish them from the graveyard to get those searches. So for now, that doesn't really feel too optimal. And the last spell that, again, not the main thing, I feel the worst. But again, okay, I know where the deck is going to, or Konami wanted the deck to go to, is Specimen. Specimen is like, you need to discard the card first of all, and that's not really too optimal. But you're forcing your opponent to put like, let's say, a high level monster or any monster of your desired level from their deck to the graveyard. So, well, okay, that's cool, but again, it doesn't really feel too optimal. I don't really like the card. Maybe with more support, the card might have its uses, but it's useful during your first turn, I guess, but the minuses is something I don't like. I'd rather, you know, like discard something for Onomatopera, for example, to search out, let's say, your GoGoGo or the Utopic, right? onomatopoeia that is. So it's just not convenient, and some people can pair this fossil archetype with Invoked, and okay, like Invocation does also have the ability to banish materials from your opponent's graveyard also, but the fact that, and that's the difference, is that they have like a field spell that searches Alistair. Alistair is a plus on its own, a very convenient normal summon link, plus they have Megaba, and Megaba negates as well, and that's something that this archetype doesn't have yet. You know, they might get it soon, who knows. But this is currently the build. For now, I feel the fusions are sweet with the, I mean, it's a given fact. You need to run this with the, you know, in the new Adamancipator archetype, Extenders, the Rock archetype, Go-Go-Go's as well. The deck fits really well together, and the Foolish Burial is super convenient, universal card. I mean, it definitely works well. At first it serves the same purpose as a Gigantus, but the fact that you can pump out another level 6 on the field again feels super convenient, makes your double level 8 Synchro play during your first turn much consistent, or much more consistent, or more consistent. Anyway, guys, as always, feel free to leave, like, you know, feedback. That's always appreciated. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.